Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, what's going on with Bitcoin? Well, I have an explanation, and I believe I can explain Bitcoin's dip. So, let's get to it. As always, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. 2 streams almost every day, 11:30 and 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you hit that notification bell. And follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So what happened? Well, before you guys start panicking, before you start saying it's over, that the top, was at 68 and this and that. All right, I'm just take a moment, take a step back and realize that we're still where we are right now, and that's right around $60,000, okay? Even though, yes, you've heard me say it a couple of days now, yes, we came back down from our high of 68, which is high for Bitcoin, right? Let's not forget the months that we were stuck at 30,000 not too long ago, and the months we were stuck at 50,000 not too long ago, right? So this is still way better than before. But what about what's going on right now? Because some of you guys may not care about history, right? What explains what's happening right now? And I think I nailed it earlier today, right? And I'm going to re-emphasize what I said, but I'm going to show you guys something right off the bat, okay? This will explain the Bitcoin dip. Well, at least it's going to prove my point. So I decided to look at CryptoQuant, which is a tool that I like to look at every so often. And I discovered this. Bitcoin net flow from the exchanges. This is all exchanges, including leverage exchanges and normal spot exchanges. So this includes the big boys like Coinbase and Bitfinex and Bybit and Gemini and Kraken. You put it all together. Take a look at this. Outflow minus negative 8,637 Bitcoins. So you figure, Bitcoin goes down. The inflow must be higher, right? It must mean that someone is selling, right? But no, this is showing the opposite. This is showing that 8,637 Bitcoins came out of the exchanges. So the reserves for Bitcoin actually dropped, despite the fact Bitcoin dropped. So you got to think about, why did that happen? Why? That doesn't make any sense, George. Why would the reserves go down when Bitcoin's going down? Well, I think it shows what's happening. Someone's buying. Whales are buying, and it's even worse when you look at Ethereum. You won't even believe what Ethereum looks like. This is what I put in a thumbnail. I mean, just take a look at that. This is going back all the way 1 year, okay? Ethereum going back 1 year. We never had an outflow like this in the past year, even when Ethereum was, below 2,000. I mean, just look at this. Minus 1,997,000. Okay, minus 2 million Ethereum. That's in the billions. So put 1 and 1 together, or put 2 and 2 together. Why did we have, 2 billion worth of ETH? This is not $2 billion worth of ETH. This is 2 billion ETH removed from the exchanges. This is not net flow. So this is not just like counting outflow and not counting inflow. This is actually subtracting off inflow and outflow. This is what we're getting. Negative 2 million Ethereum and negative 8,600 Bitcoin, right? I think this shows what's going on. The big boys, the whales that I've been telling you guys, the ones that are accumulating, they are accumulating more and more and more. And not only that, they're desperate. How could you have 2,000 ETH being removed from the exchanges? Can you even calculate how much that is, right? So they are preparing for something. They are preparing for something, and this relates to what I said this morning. In 2017, right before the huge run up, we had a dip. We had a 40% dip back in 2017, right before the tremendous run. It's right here. This is November, mid-November of 2017. And guess where we are? Mid-November of 2021, right? So it's looking like something is brewing. And my theory is that the whales are accumulating as much as they can, right? While trying to manipulate the market somewhat, causing some fear, even though, let's put things in perspective, we did not fall down 40% like what happened in 2017. But we did fall back a little bit from our high of 68, but we're still hovering around 60,000. So it's not all doom and gloom, guys. Okay, this is certainly not as bad as some of these other streams I had when Bitcoin fell down 25% or 30%, and it's really hard to explain. So it's different. However, this is mimicking this period from 4 years ago, right before Bitcoin went on a 300% run. It had a little dip, and that is exactly what it's feeling like right now. So I do believe this is what's going on. And you know what? I was searching through Twitter, and I'm not the only one that made this correlation. So look at this. Raoul Paul, a lot of you guys know him. He's been following Ethereum's chart because he's a big Ethereum bull. And guess what? He's looking at the same thing. You compare what's happening right now, which is the blue line, and you compare it to the white line, which is what happened to Ethereum in 2017, right? You could see Bitcoin fell down at 40%. Ethereum also fell down quite tremendously in 2017. And he's making a point that, hey, this is following it. This is mimicking it. And if it really does mimic what happened in 2017, guess what? A 300% rally is right around the corner. Exactly what happened with Bitcoin, right? So it's like the final shakeout. And that's why this morning I said it's the final shakeout. It's the final dip before we get this huge run up. So I'm not the only one that has been around since 2017 connecting the dots, right? And it's feeling like that's exactly what's going on. And of course, tech dev, comparing previous RSI levels, again, comparing 2017 and 2021, right? And you could look at even the current RSI point right now, 42.67. It's almost identical to the same point in 2017 when we had that 40% dip. And afterwards, we went up 300%. The very RSI, the RSI level, right, is almost identical to the same point this time 4 years ago. So is this all coincidence? Even though Bitcoin and Ethereum is 10 times higher and the landscape is very different, is this all coincidence? Because it's looking like it's not. It's looking like this is all following the same footsteps as before. Uncannily, very uncanny, but still, I think that's what's happening. All right, now, if you didn't believe any of this stuff, you're like, George, this is all nonsense. None of this really matters, right? Well, let's look at what does matter. Let's look at some of the facts, the metrics that measures Bitcoin's top or bottom. Okay, there's a lot of them. Here's one called Bitcoin's Investor Tool 2-Year MA Multiplier. And what is this? It's intended to be used as a long-term investment tool. It highlights period where buying or selling Bitcoin during those times would have produced outsized returns. Okay, very simple. You have a red line that shows top, and you have a green line that shows bottom. And where are we? Right smack in the middle. We're not near the red line. We're not anywhere near the top. So according to this is a long-term model, a metric that measures if Bitcoin is overbought or oversold. We are right smack in the middle. It's nothing like even in April or May or when we actually hit that red line. We're nowhere close to it. Here's another one, logarithmic growth curve. This is stretching it out. The top and bottom from the beginning to where it is now. And this is what a lot of people look at, like Ben Cohen and others. They want to do this, lengthening cycle, but basically this is the same trajectory. We're nowhere near the top. Nowhere near the top. Here's another one, MVRV, which also measures the market cap to realized cap and measures if we are overheated. At any time this indicator goes into the red, we are near a top or at a top. And where are we? We're all the way down here. We're nowhere close to the top. And of course, lastly, most of you guys are familiar with stock to flow, right? A lot of people are, trying to call out plan B and say, oh, look, your 98,000 prediction is wrong. Well, first of all, it's not wrong yet. We still have about 2 weeks left in November. But even, hey, Ben, you're here. But even if he is, it doesn't mean that everything he has said, it doesn't mean that stock to flow is done for, right? It's not like it's just all, nonsense. No, it's really hard to make accurate predictions from like 6 months ago, right? Based on his magic 8 ball, based on his time machine, right? I mean, obviously he was making some predictions based on his analysis back in June, and he's been 3 for 3, and he may be 4 for 4. There's still time, but even if he's wrong, okay, so what? Stock to flow is still on point. At some point, it'll be invalidated, like he said. But right now, this is still saying, okay, we're still on track. So you look at all the measurable models, long-term models, we're still on track. Nothing indicates that we are at top. Of course, the hash rate, not that this really measures top or bottom, but it does show that miners are not selling. Obviously, you could see in 2020 a lot of dips, right? And of course, in 2021, we had a huge dip because of the China exodus. That's not happening right now. In fact, miners are adding more and more. So the miners are not selling, right? So you add all this together. What do we have, right? We have a small correction. Yes, we have a small correction, but this could be the last correction, just like 2017, where we had that final shakeout. This could be like that. And afterwards, we have that terrific 300% run, just like 2017, right? So stay strong. Stay strong, my friends. Don't get fudded out. Don't get feared out, right? Those that make the most with Bitcoin are the ones that have the most patience and the ones that held the longest. That's how they made their money. The ones that are billionaires, like Max Kaisers of the world or Roger Ver of the world, they bought early or mined early, and they held and they held and they held despite all the FUD and up and downs. They're Bitcoin billionaires because of it, and many people after them are Bitcoin millionaires because of it. So what you got to do is ignore the FUD, right? You got to ignore the volatility and know that all things right now are looking good, and we are still on track, in my opinion. Many others may not feel that way, but me, I am staying bullish. I don't believe this bull run is anywhere close. I do believe that we will continue, and we may get a lengthening cycle like what Ben says, that we may carry into 2022 because of institutional adoption. Not because the charts tell me that, because institutional adoption, you can't ignore the fact that inflation is still a real thing. And bankers and hedge funds and everyone else in between is looking at buying Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation because they're no longer interested in gold or believe that gold is a true hedge against inflation anymore, right? So because of that, that's why I believe we can have a lengthening cycle. We can continue on. So there you go. There you go. All right. So hopefully I help calm some of you guys down, right? If you're looking at live coin watch or you're looking at any kind of coin index, market cap is at 2.6 trillion, which is of course a little bit lower than our recent 3 trillion high. But, relatively speaking, it's still very good compared to previous months when we were below 2 trillion. And Bitcoin dominance hasn't really gone up. That's the other metric that I look at, because I remember previous times when people were really, really, really panicking. People were really fearful what happens is they sell their altcoins, they hold old Bitcoin, right? And Bitcoin goes up. I mean, Bitcoin dominance goes up. And that's not what's happening right now. Everything is going down in tandem, except a few exceptions. I mean, Avalanche is still up. I don't know how BUSD could be up because it's supposed to be a stable coin, but it's above $1 because people are panicking into stable coins right now, right? You have a couple metaverse places like Decentraland, and I believe IOTA's up too. Sandbox is up in a big way. So there are a few projects that's still in the green. But overall, people, most of the projects are moving in tandem with Bitcoin at this point. All right, guys. That's it. Now let's do Q&A. Wax P is up, someone says. All right. I'm glad most of you guys, at least I'm going through a chat, most of you guys are staying positive. You know that this is nothing, but a lot of you guys have following for a while. A lot of you guys have been through much, much worse. I had this stream before where Bitcoin was down 25%. Those are days you could just only laugh because otherwise you just want to jump out the window. But that's not today. That's not today at all, right? And we do have whale games that's still going on, right? But we have history on our side. We have been through cycles. We have been through halving events. And right now, very, very similar to what happened in 2017, although on a much tamer scale. Because I like to remind you guys, in 2017, mid-November, we had a 40% drop. From 8,000 down to about 5,500-ish, okay? And then it went up 300% to 20,000. So just remember that. That shook out a lot of people in 2017. They're like, screw this, I'm out. And then it cost them dearly afterwards. All right, scrolling down. All right. And if you look at, not that I'm a TA guy, but if you look at, this is not lower than before. We had this at 58.6 before. So we did not form a new high, a new low yet. But, when in doubt, see, I'm on a 5-minute scale, right? 5-minute time frame. So whenever you zoom in and you look at 5-minute or you look at a 1 minute, everything looks horrible, right? So when in doubt, zoom out, go to the 4-hour, and then you realize, okay, we're doing okay. It's not as bad as it seems. Now, if we had a down wick all the way down to like 40,000, I would say, okay, that's pretty bad. If we had a down wick down to 30,000, yeah, that would be pretty bad. But no, we didn't have any of those things. So if you look at the 4-hour, you realize, okay, we're basically at the same level we were at for the last month. We're no higher, we're no lower, we're still within the same range. So there you go. For those of you guys that are really panicking. Scrolling down, making sure I don't miss anything. Why do I only show big caps? You know why? Because they're more stable. There's a lot more momentum, and they don't drop like a rock when there is a correction. What else is there? Yep. I saw Ben in here. He's like, I would not mind a lengthening cycle. I would not either. I know most people are looking for like a blow off top because everyone wants to get rich quick right away, right? But a lengthening cycle, a slow and steady rise up with normal corrections is the best scenario. It's the best scenario, right? You could have a stair step upwards trend going into the next cycle, which is 2024 when the next halving event happens. So we could have that, and that would be terrific because when you have a situation like that where we just keep going stair stepping up, even though we have normal corrections, well, it removes volatility. You don't have huge dips, right? And things just keep going, and it removes crypto winter. This may be the cycle that replaces crypto winter, right? I remember when this happened, when we fell back down from 64,000 down all the way to 30,000, like this point right here, right? A lot of people were claiming, like, oh yeah, this is crypto winter. This sucks. We're going to go lower. We're going to go down to 10,000. That's not crypto winter. That was just a correction. Crypto winter is 3 years, okay? If you thought this was bad, do it for 3 years. So this is what I'm talking about. If we have stair step up and then we have normal corrections like this and we continue, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I think this is going to be huge end of the year. Look at glitch protocol. For me, mainnet is coming low cap. What do you call it? Buy right now. And it is not time to be looking at small caps right now. But I have heard of glitch. I just covered them. They're their L1 DeFi protocol. So they do have promise, that's for sure. 8-6 dipping says shorts are going to wreck this time. Yes, we had major longs, a huge number of longs liquidated. Let's just bring it up. So yeah, right here, 783 million longs liquidated, right? And today, moving to the second day, I guess this is, no. That was yesterday. I'm sorry. 783 million yesterday. Today, 160 million. So, right now, the longs are not doing good. You could see these huge green candlesticks. They're actually the longs getting liquidated. But if we go on that 300% run, you're going to see a lot more red candlesticks, the shorts being liquidated. But right now, there's just too many people playing leverage, too many people that are just too greedy, and that is exactly what's happening. Let me see here. Where's Plan B? Hey, he's a long-term guy, guys. Okay, Plan B is long-term. He's like macro guy, like with the stock to flow, right? He's not going to give you day-to-day. He's not going to tell you what's going to happen day-to-day. I don't think he's a true TA guy. He's more of a long-term macro model guy, right? He has been right 3 for 3. There's still time. We can pump up still, even from this point, right? So we just have to wait and see. And I made a mention about this. I mean, if you are a TA guy and you're looking at oversold levels, that is where we are right now. You look at a 4-hour, right? We're at not negative, 23 for RSI, right? And last time we were this low was around here, right before, a few days before a huge run up. Again, we're mimicking this right here, right? On a smaller scale, but you could see 1 up, 2 up, and then you have further down. Doesn't that look like this? 1, 2, and then we have it's kind of like this. But I was trying to make the point that this still reminds me of 2017, right before we had a huge run up. This reminds me a lot of it. Plan B needs a plan A. Fox Savage Gaming, I already announced this. I'm taking a break from DCA. I did so 2 weeks ago, right? Need to concentrate on my own things, get my life and things back in order. So I'm taking a break from it. Nothing against the guys. We did not leave on bad terms. They understand, but people like to spread FUD. But that is, exactly what happened. Let's see. Thoughts on a Shelby GT500? Well, it's a 700 plus horsepower Mustang. It looks great, but can you really put the power down? That's the thing. I was looking at quarter mile is like 11 something, and it should be a lot faster because you can't put the power down, right? That's the problem. Let's see. What else is there? I don't know about keto. Pedro, stop asking. Mike says, don't spread yourself too thin. That's what I'm trying not to do. That's why I try to keep my streams short, right? But I have still 2 streams, and I have a lot of stuff going on in the back end with my website and trying to grow that and many things. Trying to push forward, yet trying to keep myself balanced and have a somewhat of a life. Not that any of you guys care, but that's the truth, the reality. How's my Legos going? I have not built any sets. I'm halfway through that a 911 turbo set, but that's about it. My kids and my wife has been building a lot more than me. Have I checked out a new Integra yet? No. You know, I'll tell you, I mean, this is not crypto related, but if you try to visit your car dealership, you realize they have like 1 or 2 cars on the lot. It is extremely hard to find a new car right now. Every used car has gone up so much due to a shortage, and you could argue due to inflation too. But man, I don't know how car salesmen are surviving. There's like no cars to sell right now. We want 24/7 streams. I'm sorry, I can't make that happen. Do you think the Korean government incentives for metaverse and crypto will help boost Terra and ACH? Well, ACH is not really into metaverse, but they're into payments. And Terra, yes. Although the SEC is trying to subpoena Terra right now. They're trying to like force them to come to court in the U.S. I don't know. You know, I think that's a small thing, but we'll see what happens with that. I'm still a big fan of Terra. Can you give your thoughts on DeFi Kingdom? I haven't looked into it yet. I know they're promising play to earn game. Started with Harmony. Now they branched out, and you know, supposedly you can farm many different chains and their tokens. I think Avalanche. They just moved to Avalanche recently. So, but I haven't had a chance to look at them. Wanda says, I'll sell you one of my cars. They do all run. Well, that's good. I have cars. It's just the cars I want, I can't get. That's the problem. And everything is so overvalued. I mean, so crazy. You know, I'll share you a story. And this really pissed me off. So, you know, I've been telling you guys about deductions, right? A lot of you guys are really concerned about your capital gains. And, you know, one of the ways you could do so to offset capital gains is through deductions. And if you have a business like I do, you could buy a 6,000 pound car or 6,000 pound gross weight car, mostly SUVs and trucks, right? And if it's a business use vehicle, then you could deduct it. And then due to Section 179, you could fully depreciate it in the first year, which is what a lot of business owners do. So they'll go buy really heavy and expensive cars to offset their taxes. And because of the shortage right now, you can't get a lot of those cars because everyone is buying them up. So dealers are marking them up like crazy. So recently I saw a dealership around me, a Mercedes dealership, and they had a brand new G-Wagon, a G550, not an AMG, just a regular G, and they did not put the price. So I text them. I'm like, hey, how much do you guys want for it, and what is MSRP? And they're like, okay, MSRP is $146,000, but we want $246,000. They're marking it up $100,000. And I basically said F you and then just stopped texting. And I'm like, it's just crazy. Crazy. All right, anyways, that's it. Just want to share that with you guys. All right, any last questions? Can you show us the liquid supply graph of BTC compared to BTC price again? I don't know what you're talking about. If you're talking about this is a net flow within the last day. You got negative 8,600. So what is that? Hundreds of millions, 500 million, 600 million? That's a lot. That's a lot. So, all right. So with that said, what else? I guess I'll conclude. So what should you do? Should you be panicking? Should you panic sell? Is it the top? The answers to those questions are no. No. Nothing good comes from panicking, okay? Never. Unless you're leveraged and you're about to get liquidated, that's a different story. But if you're just holding on Bitcoin and the good altcoins, well, the best strategy is to DCA, dollar cost average, and HODL. The more patience you have, the better it's off. The better you'll be off, and the more you'll make. That is one strategy that has held true. Many people that have followed that and had followed, my advice about having a diversified portfolio, 50, 25, 25, right? Which I will DCA in front of you guys tomorrow, right? Have told me they're doing fantastic. Some have made life-changing wealth just through this one simple strategy, right? There's no advanced trading or tactics or anything other than to stay strong and HODL. And this is definitely not like crypto winter. This is not like the previous times where it's so scary and Bitcoin has fallen 50% within a week. No, it's not like that. This is just a temporary drop down. We are oversold at this point, and this is mimicking what happened in 2017, right before Bitcoin and Ethereum and others went up 300% and more. And the fact that we had such a large outflow of Bitcoin and the biggest outflow for Ethereum ever recorded, basically, tells you something. That the whales, the ones that may be driving things down right now, are the ones that are accumulating, and they're accumulating by the billions because they're getting ready for what's coming too. So think about that. All right, guys, that is it. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay strong. Don't flood yourself out. Don't panic sell, right? Pay attention. Go do more research and go pay attention to what's going on. And then you'll come to a conclusion that you should just HODL. All right, guys, take care. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.